Hello there. This is Kathy Rosewell Jonas, licensed clinical social worker, and I am a licensed facilitator in the state of Oregon. And Epic Healing Eugene was the first service center that was licensed in Oregon and also in the nation. So we've been providing psychedelic healing services since June 23rd, 2023, when we first saw our first clients. So we've had quite a bit of time to kind of relish in this whole psychedelic healing arena and working with clients and seeing what works for people, what kind of conversations seem to be most helpful in preparation, what kind of feedback do we get from clients, and also as a licensed clinical social worker and being in the field of mental health for the last close to 40 years, I also bring my life experience in that lens to my work. And today I want to talk about something that's really hard to get to the source of, but we're going to try today, and that is letting in, and the nugget which prevents so many people from getting traction in their personal growth. Another word for this is overcoming resistance. So what we found in our work and my work with people, I seem to attract a lot of people that have varying levels of trauma. That just seems like that is the common thread that connects many of us, is adverse life experiences. And hopefully we're at a stage in our lives where we're ready to embrace change and personal growth rather than to hold on to the anger and regret that life didn't give us what we wanted it to, or our childhood, we didn't get our needs met in the way that we wanted things to go. And I think there is a stage that we all go through where it's just recognizing what happened to varying degrees. It might be very obvious, it might come over time of different events and the impact that they've left, even, years and years, decades later. So that's part of it, and I think that that stage is important to be able to say, this happened and it didn't feel good, it didn't feel right, it's left negative impacts on my life, and I'm angry about that, or I'm really sad about that. It might be that you don't want to have relationships with certain people, and that's okay. What I'm getting to is eventually, after trying many Western modalities of medication interventions to address symptoms of anxiety and depression and heightened startle response, panic attacks, you name it, so many somatic conditions and psychological, emotional, physical conditions can happen as a result of trauma. We all know this. And so then when a person comes for a psychedelic experience, it really matters in how prepared a person is emotionally in being open to see where psilocybin takes them on the journey. A lot of people read research, and that's what has attracted a lot of people to doing psychedelics at this stage and in these legalized service center models in Oregon that we have, and also healing centers in Colorado, and other states will be coming along. So there is a great need and actually a feeling of maybe fatigue and exhaustion after trying so many things. It's like this is what leads a person to this kind of psychedelic experience. And we're talking about macro doses, which are large doses of psilocybin, to get the most therapeutic benefit, where there has a chance of being a shift in rewiring the brain, calming the default mode network, and all those relevant actions of how psilocybin works on the human brain, and also for us to reap the greatest benefit. So this nugget, though, is something really intangible. It's the nugget of being able to let in feeling better. And that's a big ask for many people that have been battling for years with their own trauma story, and to come to a plant medicine experience, psilocybin or ayahuasca or whatever other psychedelic is being used for healing, it takes a degree of really showing up and letting go of the mental story or the emotional story enough to be open to let something new come in. And so this nugget, which I really have explored within myself, and it was one of the biggest life transformational lessons that I've learned on my spiritual, emotional evolution path, and also after working with psychedelics, is the key importance of being able to let in something good, to let in a positive feeling, a positive sensation, to experience a shift and be able to leave open the possibility to let that seeds have been planted, and let those seeds have a chance to come to fruition, to develop, to be nurtured by you. So the nurturing of this seed that gets planted, whether it's really obvious during a psychedelic experience or it takes a while to get to the other side, it takes time, it takes a willingness, it takes curiosity to be open. It's like, oh, I'm feeling different, or this was interesting, this came up in my psychedelic experience, I wonder what that means. Oh, I'm having memories about the past. Well, does that need to derail? No. What I often talk about, and I made another video called The Incomplete Purge, and I'm going to just talk just a little bit about that, is that when we're on a psychedelic journey and a personal growth journey, this can be just going through counseling, it can be talking to a friend about a life event that you hadn't thought about, and then you guys have a conversation. It can be so many things, but what happens is we have kind of the still pond of our life, is how I like to describe it. And we do a lot of things just to keep our pond steady. When the wind comes from life events, we adapt and we change, what we need to do. We might avoid certain situations, or we might need to take a nap. There might be a variety of things that happen from just external events happening and making our still pond unsteady. But underneath that is what gets stirred up is the sediment of the still pond. And that sediment can get stirred up from a variety of reasons that are all healthy and normal. The sediment's also the good experiences of your life that you might remember your favorite color when you were 3 or something like that. It's good stuff too. But as we approach a psychedelic experience, is things start getting stirred up. In a counseling session or working with your facilitator or talking with a friend or your spouse, things can get stirred up. Now, what you do with that feeling of being unsettled is either you can just wait it out, which for a lot of things, just waiting it out for a minute or two is that you can recognize how you're feeling about that. Use some strategies like just breathing, telling yourself that you're okay. Just having this feeling being stirred up doesn't mean that something else has to happen. It doesn't even mean that an action needs to happen. It's just things are stirred up. So in a psilocybin experience, this stirring up can happen before the psilocybin experience as you're coming in, and then during the psilocybin experience or plant medicine experience is one thought's going to lead to another thought and another thought, and those thoughts are going to lead to emotional reactions and feelings and sensations, and that unsettled feeling might have an opportunity to be released during your psychedelic experience. That can be through crying, emoting, deep breaths, sighs, yawning, all the sorts of things, that are in the purging umbrella. So yes, purging as in releasing. There's some way of releasing. For some people, it might be a big wave of nausea. So what I encourage my clients that come, and also people that come to our preparation groups that we offer, is that to not be afraid of the process of potential release of movement. And you can do a lot with the breath. So as you start practicing just being with feelings, because that's that sediment that gets stirred up, is to just start to widen your capacity, enlarging your capacity to just be with feelings and sensations. The more that you can do that before your psilocybin experience, the more likely you're going to be able to navigate when emotions and sensations come up, which they will, in the psychedelic experience. So one other thing I want to mention that I think is helpful to think about this purging in a way of, it's really about the angst, kind of the angst. An opportunity to purge is like you've been carrying around this angst for a really, really long time, for years, for decades, for many people. And as the sediments being kind of stirred up and feelings being stirred up, it's like an inner tube being like overly full, and an opportunity to let it go through a sound, through an exhale, through giving yourself positive messages, releasing in different ways, is that it lets some of that pressure off. It just releases it. And so I just wanted to encourage people to not be afraid of that process, to know that that is really part of the whole healing journey before you come in for an experience. The more that you can practice being with feelings, with sensations, without getting too alerted about it. It's like, oh, I'm feeling this. Oh, this sensation's coming up. This person said this. Now I'm feeling this in my stomach. It's okay. It's taking a pause, being with the emotions that are coming up, the sensations that are coming up, and then you're using strategies, very simple strategies. The breath is number one, you can't go wrong with it, is using your exhale and then also using your inhale to take in good stuff, to, if there's a good feeling, good sensations coming in, positive insight that you're having, just bringing it in and savoring that, because that's the nugget, that's the key. The more that we can practice letting in positive emotions, positive self-talk, positive self-soothing, that puts us always back on the path of healing and evolving in this journey that we're on, which is an endless journey of transformation and opening. And I hope that you will find that you can relax and trust yourself the more that you practice ahead of time. So we welcome you to come to Epic Healing Eugene to learn more about us, to visit our Radiant Heart Consulting website as well, that lists all of our facilitators that are on our team. It also has all the services that we offer, and wishing you well.